Have you ever felt nervous to sell your product or services? Your product is good, you know it, but yet you doubt yourself. My name is Leovona, and I have been doing business as an entrepreneur for 25 plus years. Tonight, I would like to bring two topics, two ways that I have used, two methods, if you will, that I have used that helped me to open many businesses in my 25 plus years of being an entrepreneur. The first one is the fear of rejection. Fear of rejection. We are fearful because sometimes we get pulled back into the past. We are brought back all the way to those days when we were a blundering little, stinker. We dropped plates, we dropped cups, we broke mommy's fine china, and mommy and daddy always might shout at us and say, "Come on, Leah, what are you doing? You just broke another plate. I'm sorry." And you're constantly being rejected. They're upset with you. And so you haul yourself into a corner so you don't have to see the disappointment on their faces. And then life spins out of control, and you go to school and you're in classes, and for some reason, the teacher starts picking on you. Or you might be the teacher's pet, and your co's start picking on you, calling you names. You have older people higher than you in the school, and they're, picking on you, pulling your clothes, teasing you. So your confidence gets less and less with every passing incident. I say to you that I have been there. And what I did was I started to do affirmations. I would go into my bathroom, my grandmother's bathroom, and I would talk to myself in the mirror. And I would say, "Leah, you are good. You have confidence. You can do this. And you have to stop being afraid. And you have to stop having people take advantage of you. Stop running like a coward. Stand up to them. Fight back and overcome." And I would come out of the bathroom. I would wipe my face, put a smile on, and I charge into the world again. Because the world is like a roller coaster. We get hurt, we get picked on, we get damaged. Things will never, ever be the same. It always goes up and down. And we have to be able to fight, to go back in there and fight, like our president said when he was shot. Fight. We have to fight. If we lay down and die, the Bible says, hope deferred makes the heart go sick. If you don't try, if you don't hope, you are just going to become a vegetable. When we are vegetables, we could get sick. It's when we're going that, our energy stays and the cells are not dormant and things work out for us. So I'm going to use one little analogy and then I'll move on to the second one, the second method. And I've used these things, guys. I'm not giving you anything that I have not used. Okay? I want you to picture a man up in the mountains somewhere, and it's snowing. And his jacket is not warm enough for the weather. You may even put yourself in this position and say, well, it's not a man, it's me. If I were up on a mountain and I was going up there and the coat I had on was not adequate enough, suddenly the snowstorm came and I wasn't expecting it. What would you do? Would you forge on? Would you pull the jacket to yourself and kind of hold yourself tight and push on to your destination? You're not just going to lie down and die. We never do. We fight. We fight. So you would have your eyes on the destination and you would keep going, wouldn't you? So that's the same attitude we have to have, a mindset, talking to ourselves in the mirror. You might come out of that room and somebody takes advantage of you. Tomorrow, you go do a sale and it doesn't work. And you say, you know what? I'm done with this. I can't do this. You never give up. You have to keep trying. With iterations over and over and over and over, you do something over and over, you'll get better. Up on the mountain, you're walking, it's snowing, but you're not deciding to lie down and die. You're going to go until you can't go anymore. And most times, we come out better on the other side. All right? So never give up. The other thing I want to say is the fear of unfamiliar, what we say here, unfamiliarity. So what exactly is that? What do I mean by being unfamiliar? So you go into, let's say you have been given an assignment and you're told that every day you have to close so many accounts to keep your job. And they give you a script and they say, oh, call the customer, book, go down to the customer, try and close. They don't care how you do it as long as you do it. Or, because I will be coaching you guys, but I'm talking to people who might need coaching. I'm talking to business owners who are having problems. You go and you give them the estimate, you walk around the place and you tell them, well, okay, this is going to be this and this is going to be that. And, they're not having a two-way conversation with you. They're just watching you, and you're feeling uncomfortable because they're making you feel funny. You have to realize that when you go in on these interviews, these people have had other companies come. You're not the only one. All right. So when you're in an unfamiliar atmosphere, you have to make sure that the muscles in your face, before you reach them, they're in their space and they're a little more comfortable than you because they have the aces in their hands. You're coming to see if you're going to land that client. So what you have to do is make sure that your face is relaxed, you're comfortable. We are spirit-filled being, and so people can read us. You can read them, they can read you. So you want to relax yourself and know that you're entering into their little atmosphere. And so you don't go in there saying, you know what? Oh man, I got to pay this mortgage and the mortgage is behind. And, I got to pay for my car note too, things are a little brown this month. I didn't get enough sales this month. And so you go in there and that's at the top of your mind and it's oozing out of your pores everywhere. And so you're stiff. The customer is talking. You're trying to shift the conversation because she's not sounding or he's not sounding as though they're going to give you the contract. Relax. Relax. Start working the customer. Let the customer see that he or she is not a number. Talk to them. Look them in the eye. People can feel when we're not there. Don't think about the next job that you have. A bird in your hand is worth more than 2 or 3 in a bush. Don't think about the other job that you have to go to. Oh, I hope I close that one. This one doesn't seem to be going very well. Turn it around. Turn it around by your attitude. Turn it around. Start looking at them. Start asking them, what are their concerns? Slow it down. Tell them that you're here to listen. Who do you have doing this work for you? Are you pleased with them? I would love to have you as my client. What can I do to take the other person out? I know that I'm good, but would you give me an opportunity to prove myself? Let them talk. Don't cut them off. Some of them will ramble, but you let them know. Don't let them see like you're dozing off in the middle. Old people like to talk. They just talk because sometimes they're lonely. So give them the time of day. And when they see that you care, you may leave out of there thinking, I did not get that one. That is the hardest one I've had to pull this week. I don't think I get it. Give them 2 days, 3 days. Sometimes they let you sweat. Sometimes they forget. And then they say, oh, Mommy, how did the interview go with the people that you were trying to get to, clean the offices? Oh, gosh. Oh, Audrey, I forgot I like this nice little young man that came, or this nice little young lady. I have to call them back because I've decided I'm going to go with that one. So you get a surprise. You have to always think positive. Even when you're leaving, you say to yourself, you know what? I am not going to close everything, but I am going to try as hard as I can to use my confidence, use my skills, and get as many as I can. And if I don't get one, I put it to the back of my head, I put it in the back of my mind, and I say, you know what? Move on to the next one. I'm going to go back and I'm going to study what I did and see how I can improve. I hope this helps you. Now, I want to remind you again that on the 29th of September, we are tentatively hoping to put on a webinar. We are working on it. If we have a problem within I guess about 2 days before we launch, we will let you know that we're not going to be able to do it. We have to put it off. All right. So, like I said, we are here and we will be doing this every single day except Saturday and Sunday. Everybody needs rest. And so I know I told you that I was going to do it, every day, but my husband said that he wishes me to take the 2 days off so that I can rest. All right. The time that we're going to be coming on is going to be 8:30. Oh, I'm sorry, 8 o'clock? Yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to go for half an hour doing the live. And then I'll try to go another half an hour for questions, if you have any questions that you want to ask me about business. So it's 8 to 8:30 and then 8:30 to 9 o'clock. All right. Once again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. So I'm going to end out the live session and then I'm going to wait and see if anybody comes in. Thank you for watching my video. I think we got a couple of views. My husband was telling me either 2 or 3 of you looked at it. I'm very grateful. I know that this is a slow progress and process, and it is what it is. Like I said, iterations, iterations, iterations. You have to iterate, and so do I as I embark on this journey. All right. So let's hang in there and let's do it together. And I hope to hear from somebody tonight. If I do, I praise God. If I don't, I still praise Him. We keep on iterating. All right. All right, guys. Nice talking to you. Well, I'm going to wait a little and see if anybody comes. Maybe we can give some music or something. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Today has been a rough one for me too. I went out so early this morning.
Why don't you tell them what the webinar is going to be about? Like you just said that we're doing a webinar.
Mm-hmm.
What is the webinar going to be for them? You can tell them that I'm telling you,
Yeah, my husband told me that I need to tell you guys what the webinar is going to be about. All right. So like I said, iterations, I have not done this. I lay my gloves down for 5 years and now I'm back here and all rusty. So, all right, guys. So, the webinar is going to be about the exceptional seller's mindset. It's a live training and it's free. All right. So you don't have to worry about anything. It's a free training. Exceptional seller's mindset. Is there something I'm missing? What am I?
What are you gonna learn about?
Okay.
Let's move on. Yeah.
Some reason I'm glitching, but yeah, it's the
The thing you use to build all your businesses, right?
yeah, but I know I said that last night, so they just have to. You guys just gotta go and check out the first video. Check the first video
Want
out,
me
and
to
you'll
answer
get.
you a question or two?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, so repetitions, repetitions, repetitions. You said right.
Mm-hmm.
How about if like somebody never went on their first sales call, right? What would you recommend how they can overcome their fear and like take that first step?
So, okay, let me see if I understand the question correctly. You're asking me, how about if somebody has never made a sales call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like let's say like okay, I'm good at what I do. I have a business idea, but like I know what I'm doing, like what I made is good, and like people would want it, but I don't feel like I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't know how to sell, so like I'm nervous about. I've never done it before. Like I never represented my own brand. I've represented companies, but I've never represented my own brand. So like, how do I now like get myself to take that first step?
Well, the way I look at it is this: we go to corporate and we are told that we have to make a call or we have to make calls to XYZ. It's a part of the package. And what do? You want the paycheck, right? You are motivated that you know that you're being looked at. You know that they have cameras watching you and the phones are tapped. So what do? You perform to your best because you don't want to have to go home. You need the job. So what do? You put yourself out on the limb and you pick up that phone, you dial that number, and when the person comes on, you talk. You talk to keep your job. So now the question I have for you is, if you can do it for Uncle Sam, why can't you do it for yourself? You've never made a phone call for your business or to go sell anything, to do a cold calling to anybody, but this is your business. It's your business. And if you can build the company that you're working for, if you're building their business, boy, you better build yours. You got to give yourself the best that you have to your business. I don't say that you must take their money and just go in and sit around. I've seen some things in my time where people just go to work and they don't do nothing. They hide in closets and all kinds of stuff. No, you want to work with integrity before God. But you always have to remember that the best fruits of your life, the best labor you have, should be to yourself, to your company that you're trying to build. So please get on the phone and make the phone call. And if you stumble and you blumble like a blumbling fool, iterations, man. If they click on you and say, what is this? Who are you? No, Andy lives here. You hang up the phone and you go to the next call. And now the next time you're not gonna do you understand? With every iteration, you will get better. You will get stronger. And like I said, you did it for the company and you didn't so don't for your own stuff. I hope that answered that.
I don't want to put you on the spot too bad.
That's okay. You can
Do
go.
you feel like knowing your product makes it easier? Do you
If
feel like knowing your product makes it easier to go into a sales type situation?
Well, when you're dealing with your product as it pertains to what we're doing here, and we're going to be dealing with up and coming entrepreneurs or people who are already doing relatively okay but might want to scale or need some coaching, you have to know what you have built. You have to know what you have developed. As we get older in doing something, we tend to get lackadaisical. We tend to get tired. We tend to say, oh, it's mundane. Do I have to do this again? Boy, oh boy, have you forgotten what it felt like to get up and go to that 9 to 5? And how they wrecked you and you had to go to meetings and all kind of stuff? Don't get tired of your own stuff. You got to push for your own stuff and thank God that you have something that is yours. Because when you feel tired, and if you have had an hour already and you feel tired and you feel like you want to take another half hour, you can take a half hour. But you can't do that when you're working in corporate. You better have your lunch break and come back, or else they're going to be writing you up. So with regards to product, it's your product. So you have to love your product and be proud of it and stand behind it. Because what do we do in corporate? We don't know nothing about their product. Product sucks and all. And they tell us that we have to call and tell this company and that company that they're sending XYZ. And what do? You go and say, like, what we call them, like lemons? You just tell them. Oh, Mrs. So-and-so, this is Leah Vona calling to let you know that we will be sending the product by tomorrow. The product is an excellent product and we hope you like it. And when you get it, please give us a feedback. And it sucks, but you have to sell their product. So if you got to sell their product, why won't you sell your own product? And put that same kind of energy when you're doing it. That's all I'm saying.
You think maybe it's because, like, they sort of trained us to not feel like we have permission to sell our own things. Like,
oh man,
school to be like do their bidding.
Oh, don't let me tell you what I have found out during the course of my years. Have they trained us? Have they trained us? We were in school and we were never taught. We were taught to work, get good grades, and get a job. I have never heard any professor from the time I was in kindergarten all the way to college and med school. I've never heard any professor tell me that it would be advantageous, Leavona, if you were to go do your own business. Yes, sir. Don't get me started. That is a hornet's nest, so we don't want to raise that. Yes, we were taught and we were trained to do their businesses, to be their flunkies.
What if that's part of the reason why, like, somebody that didn't grow up, like me, that didn't grow up entrepreneurial, kind of funny, because even though my family was doing, like, little ventures, I never felt like I could start my own. Maybe that's part of what's holding me back. I don't know.
You have to overcome those objections by, signing yourself up with a coach like me. And I'll whip you into shape so quickly, boy, your head would spin. Yes, but they have done some terrible things to us, you know. The education system is a certain way. Like I was saying last night on my video, I came in here as an entrepreneur, watching my mother, doing things as an entrepreneur, and then, you know, having people come and tell me that I should give up what I had built, and that I should go do that medical school thing, only to get to medical school to find out it's the same darn thing. If I become a doctor and I finish and I qualify, I still don't have autonomy on my own self. I still have to go and work for the system. I'm not free. And then if I do want to do, in my entrepreneurial self, when I realized that we weren't free, that we were a part of this big organization, I said, well, maybe I can finish and I can get a practice. I can open up my own office and my own practice and everything. Because it's like when you're born to be an entrepreneur, it's in there. And no matter where you turn, no matter what you do, you're always looking to be free. You're looking to be free. But then I found out that, if you wanted to do practice, there were so many loopholes you had to go through. It's like, forget that. So I hope that answers you. But yeah, we were definitely programmed just to work for corporate. And one of the things that I have found out about corporate is that corporate will work you. Okay, talk about first energy in the morning. You have to get up every morning. You're driving sometimes. Some of us drive for 2 hours to get to the job, 2 hours to come back. And by the time you come home, if you're trying to do a home business, you have no energy left because you have to come home. You have to prepare the clothes. If you have kids, you got to prepare for the kids. You have to have the lunch boxes filled, and you got to cook some food and to have dinner. And then you have to pack up for yourself and your husband so that he can have food in the morning because you can't afford to buy food after driving all these miles, you know? And so you have no energy left. You say you want to do a business. You say you're starting a business, but every night you're coming home, and by the time you do all the necessary preparations to go to the next round, you have no energy for yourself. So every day you keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow you get caught in traffic. And instead of taking 2 hours to come home, you come home in 3.5. It's a nightmare. All right. So, anything else you want to ask me, sir?
Um,
Is there anyone on there or nobody came? It's 8:28. I think they're supposed to come on. We're supposed to be done from 8 to 8:30, so still have 2 minutes to go. We'll see. Hmm. You always pull the stuff out of me, reverse engineering stuff. I'm here. I'm here to answer questions from you, or if anybody else wants to chime in, come in.
really trying to ask questions that, because like in the future, when people may land on this video later, they might have a question, right? Uh, from listening to the video, it might stir up questions. So I'm just asking questions that people might have. Right? I mean, really, I've been around you for a while, and like, I don't really have these questions, right? But I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking questions, I'm role playing, right? So that they can sort of see what it would be like when they type their questions in the chat, right? So, um,
I'm over here hurting. I just hurt my hand so bad on the edge of the table. I'm smiling through the pain. Mm, okay.
how do you feel about like when these companies give you the script and stuff? You mentioned it earlier, right? How do you feel about like scripting? Okay, do you feel like sticking to the script perfectly or whatever is more important than like how you bring yourself? You know what I mean? Like I don't know if like that makes sense.
It depends. Some companies that you might work in would watch you closely. You cannot deviate,
Like
especially if they're big
yeah,
and
they'll send managers shadow you and stuff, right?
well, shadow you, or they'll have people who are sitting there making calls who will report you and say that you're deviating from the script. So, sometimes when you get the job, they'll tell you that you cannot deviate, you have to stick to. Or sometimes, like you say, managers might shadow you, or the managers are normally in the call area. You
I
understand?
guess like my question is like how much do the exact words matter, or how much, or does it matter more like how I like relate to the like I'm somebody who has dealt with thousands of people, right, in the public, facing the public,
Right.
thousands and thousands, maybe tens of thousands, and I feel like the way I relate to people, I really like feel them out. You know what I mean? I feel out what's their need, and I try to serve them at their point of need, right? So how much of selling is like that versus trying to get like the words perfect or
Well, like I said, when we are working for a company, we are in a kind of matrix, if you will. And I know from experience, I don't know what experience you're talking about in your field,
whatever? Just in general.
but they do not like you to deviate from their script. You have to read it verbatim. If and when you leave there and you're making calls on your own in your house, when you're in your house, you have to then you can curtail it to yourself by doing all the stuff, the feeling them out and what's not. But it all depends on how much autonomy they give you with their clients. They love to tell you that you have to stick to their rules. Now, when it comes to you doing something for yourself, you might write a script today and you try it on 20 people and the results is not good, you can come back and kind of fix it again. You understand? You can fix it again, but you cannot take their script and change it. I know that because I've experienced that.
My question is about relating to the person, not whether or not I can change the script.
Yeah, but even when you call the person, how do you relate to them outside of what the script is telling you? You have to stick to that. I'm calling you.
I see what you're saying.
You understand? I'm calling you for this, for this, for this, for this. I can. Oh, are you okay, Mrs. So and so? Are you okay? You're coughing a lot. Are you good? None of that. Just get the
But I
sale and
guess
get
like this
off.
is like selling for a job.
Yes.
Who wants to do that?
Is that what you were asking me, or did I miss the question altogether?
I guess like if you're selling for their company and they give you and they say it has to be exactly these words, then yeah, there's no room for you to use your personality at all.
No.
It's just now you're an actor saying your lines. So now you
Yes.
gotta now it becomes more about like I guess you can only work on your tonality and try to feel excited.
It's a
Things
very
like that.
it's a very hard situation, you have to fake. You have to fake. You have to come outside of your character, and you get out, and some days you feel sleazy and dirty, like, I don't know, I have to start looking for something else because this is not me. This is not me. It's like these companies that years ago they had some companies that would have sales reps call old people, and threaten them and scare them into doing things. Hundreds and hundreds of calls every day, not caring. Especially the ones with like credit card companies and stuff. They call you and they let you have it. So when we have our own business, we are able to make the calls. We are able to listen to the person at the other end and work with them. If you hear it's an old person and you realize that they can't fully understand, you might want to call them back when the daughter or the son or the grandchild is home. You don't want to take advantage of anybody. You know? You have to be integrous. And when you get your payment, you know that you worked honestly for it and it's not blood money. So I don't know if that answered you.
Sure. You want to wrap it up with?
Okay. No one in? No one came?
Yeah, there's nobody for now. So
All right. We praise God. Yeah, we can wrap it up.
go ahead.
Okay. All right, guys. So it's been a pleasure. We're going to close it down. No one has come tonight, but we'll continue to show up. And we trust that with
Actually, there's somebody just
someone just came in.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I just literally saw like the second person come in.
Okay. All right.
So you can shut it down.
Someone
Yeah.
just
Shut it down.
shut it down.
Yeah.
But what happens to them? They just came, should I?
They just clicked on your video right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tell me you're gonna close it off and you can go back and watch if you're interested.
All right. So hello guys. I noticed my husband told me that someone just came in. Thank you for coming. I am just going to say that you can go back and look at the video. Thank you so much for coming, and if you have any questions, join us tomorrow and we will look forward to seeing you. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern to 8:30 is when we will do the live, and then we'll have questions from 8:30 to 9. All right, we're closing it down because the reception was not the greatest, but just know we'll be back again tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. All right, thank you for coming. Bye-bye.